Did you know your carry-on could get you stopped in 2025, even if it was totally fine last year? Most travelers don't. They pack the same way they always have, they use the same bag, they assume nothing's changed. But this year, without any major announcement, enforcement policies have quietly shifted. Bags that passed through security a dozen times last year are now being flagged, measured, and denied right at the gate. And it's not just about size anymore. It's when you board, how your bag compresses, how handles stick out, even the brand you're using. These aren't the usual liquid limits or laptop bins. These are 10 rule changes, real ones, that airlines and TSA agents are acting on, but no one is talking about. And rule number 2? It's so strict, even flight attendants are warning their families not to risk it. If you think you're already covered, if you assume your bag is fine because it's been fine before, then you're exactly who needs to subscribe, because that's exactly how people are getting caught. Delayed, fined, and forced to check bags at the last second. They thought they knew the rules. They didn't. Overhead bins are shrinking, not figuratively, physically. On dozens of newer aircraft, especially budget carriers, manufacturers have reduced bin depth by just enough to start rejecting bags that used to slide in without issue. It's not in the headlines. You won't hear it at check-in, but if your carry-on is even an inch too thick, you could be told to gate check it without warning, and sometimes with a fee that hits as high as $80, and that's before you even board. These bin changes aren't about safety, they're about speed. Airlines want faster boarding, and smaller bins discourage passengers from wrestling large bags above their heads. The result is silent enforcement. Same old rules, brand new measurements. If your bag is rigid or slightly puffed from packing, it's more likely to be flagged. The workaround? Use a soft shell carry-on with compression zippers, and never assume the listed size is enough. Check the actual aircraft specs. They vary even within the same airline. Power banks are next, and this one's costing people hundreds of dollars in replacement fees. Any portable battery over 27,000 milliamp hours is being confiscated on site. Doesn't matter if it's top of the line, doesn't matter if you've flown with it before. If the label isn't visible and doesn't clearly state the capacity, it's gone. No discussion, no appeal. This policy didn't start in the US. It gained traction internationally, especially in Asia and the Middle East, and now it's quietly being adopted here. It's not about the size, it's about thermal runaway risk. Larger batteries, if damaged or improperly stored, can overheat mid-flight. That's why agents are under strict orders to reject anything questionable. The safe bet is staying under 20,000 milliamp hours and pack it in your carry-on, not your checked bag. Lithium batteries in the cargo hold? Automatic no-go. Then there's your water bottle. Yes, even your reusable bottle is under scrutiny now, especially if it's insulated or double-walled. TSA agents are increasingly flagging them, not because of what's inside, but because they can't confirm what's inside. Double-walled designs can mask liquids, powders, even electronics. That's why they're pulling more of them aside for extra screening. If yours isn't clearly empty or easily collapsible, expect to get stopped. Not fined, but delayed. And in airport security, delay is sometimes all it takes to miss your flight. The fix is simple, but non-obvious. Carry a collapsible silicone bottle. They're transparent, flexible, and easy to flatten in the bin. Better still, uncap it in advance and walk through screening with it visibly empty. That's not for their peace of mind, it's for yours. You spent weeks planning the trip. You found the best seat, checked in early, got to the gate on time, but the moment you roll your suitcase up to board, an agent points and says you can't take it on the plane. Not because it's oversized, not because it's overweight, because the battery inside can't be removed. That sleek smart luggage you bought for convenience, if the lithium-ion battery isn't detachable, you're not flying with it. Quietly, airlines across the board have drawn a line. Built-in batteries now fall under dangerous goods. It's not about size, it's about fire risk. Security isn't opening bags to check if your battery is safe. They're looking at one thing. Can it be removed without tools? If it can't, they pull it. No refund, no gate check, just a polite escort back to the counter. Smart travelers are shifting to bags with zippered or clipped battery packs. Some even carry a screwdriver in case TSA asks. Most just lose the bag, or pay to check it and hope for the best. Next, August, the month Americans think is expensive to fly, and they're mostly right, but not entirely. Between August 13th and 26th, there's a consistent 10 to 14 day dip in domestic airfare, hidden in plain sight. It's wedged between summer vacations ending and business travel ramping up. Airlines see low demand and quietly drop fares. But that window closes fast. By the last weekend of August, prices spike again and stay high into October. If you're booking your ticket in August, you're already too late. The trick? Buy in June or early July. Fly midweek. Tuesdays and Wednesdays get the best deals. Avoid Friday night and Sunday returns. That's when fares skyrocket. Now, here's something almost no traveler thinks about. How your bag is packed can flag you for a secondary screening. Not what's inside, how it's arranged. In 2025, TSA systems don't just scan for objects, they scan patterns. A cluttered layout, random layers, clothes wrapped around devices, that reads as inconsistent, and inconsistency triggers alerts. Most people who get flagged aren't carrying anything illegal, they're just sloppy packers. Agents know what a clean bag looks like. Electronics near the top, liquids in clear containers, cords wrapped, not tangled. Use packing cubes, stack intentionally. This isn't just for aesthetics, it's for algorithms. So here's the hard truth. If you're not packing to pass TSA, you're packing to be delayed. And nothing slows a security line like the person forced to repack their suitcase in front of 50 strangers under pressure with socks falling out and an agent watching. If you don't want to be that person, smart, efficient, on time, this is your moment. Subscribe. Get ahead of the curve before it curves back at you.
You check in, you clear security, you think you've made it. Then your bag gets flagged. Not for weapons, not for contraband, but for a pouch clipped to your backpack. And that's all it takes. Gate AI is watching now. Not just weight, not just dimensions. The new system counts everything. 3 small bags, maybe a purse, a neck pillow pouch, and a shopping bag will now get you hit with an immediate fine or forced gate check. It doesn't matter that you once passed with 5 layers of stuff dangling off your carry-on. Those days are gone. This is automation at the gate. It doesn't argue, it scans, it counts, it charges. Smart travelers are adapting. They're folding extra bags into zippered sleeves inside their backpacks, using carabiner clips to consolidate loose pouches, and never walking up with more than 2 visible items. 1 carry-on, 1 personal. Now, let's talk about something more familiar. Oversized toiletries. Yes, that old rule is still catching people. The 3.4-ounce limit still applies, not just to liquids, but to paste, gels, even things you don't think of as fluid. Peanut butter? Tossed. Your expensive full-size face cream? Tossed. The trendy health shot you picked up in Terminal B? Tossed. The agents aren't judging your brand choices. They're just scanning volumes. And if it's over the limit, it's gone. The workarounds? Travel-size silicone bottles, clearly labeled, everything in a transparent zip-top pouch, and never assume a TSA agent will understand. They won't. They'll enforce. Electronics. You'd think by now people would remember, but the bins are still full of tangled messes. Chargers, tablets, game consoles, phones, laptops, all buried at the bottom of backpacks. And those are the bags that get held up. Every time. Because electronics left inside your bag triggers secondary screening. It's not personal, it's pattern recognition. When the X-ray can't see through the lithium, it stops. That's why the smart traveler now packs with intention. All devices in 1 sleeve. Top of the bag, easy to pull out, easy to return. Grouped, not scattered. No loose batteries thrown in with socks. No surprise gadgets inside compartments. It's efficient, it's fast, and it keeps the line moving, which in TSA's eyes makes you low risk. Now here's the one rule most people break without realizing. Lithium batteries mishandled. This isn't a small issue. It's the #1 reason your entire bag can get pulled, delayed, or dumped. Not because you can't bring lithium batteries, but because you didn't store them right. A loose, unlabeled battery in your backpack? Red flag. A swollen pack for your drone or camera? Immediate removal. Multiple power banks without packaging? Suspicious. The solution? Every lithium battery you carry must be in your carry-on, not checked, labeled clearly, ideally in its original box or a protective sleeve. Never loose, never floating, never damaged. TSA sees damaged batteries as live hazards, and they won't negotiate at the checkpoint. We've covered 7 rules, each one silently enforced, each one tripping up thousands every day. And at this point, if you're not subscribed, at least drop a comment and tell us why. Really, what's stopping you? This isn't about algorithms. It's about helping people travel smarter, avoid fines, and never be the one repacking socks next to a trash bin under fluorescent lights. We do this every week, and we're just getting started. You think grabbing an extra tote bag, a duty-free pouch, or that small laptop case is harmless? Not in 2025. At the gate, AI scanners now count your personal items. Not the airline staff, not a manual check. AI, trained to flag you the moment it sees 3 or more carry-ons, no matter how small they look. Some travelers are getting fined on the spot. Others are being pulled aside and forced to check what they thought were harmless extras. The trick is, go modular. Foldable bags, carabiner clips, make your carry look like one unified item. Blend, don't multiply. The tech's not fooled by excuses, but it is fooled by smart design. Now for the mistake that keeps happening every single day. People still think they can push the rules on toiletries. Peanut butter is not a solid. Mascara and toothpaste aren't either. Anything semi-liquid, pasty, gel-like, creamy, or gooey, if it's over 3.4 ounces, TSA doesn't care how expensive it is. It's going in the trash. The workaround? Travel-size silicone bottles, clearly labeled. Bonus points if they're transparent. Keep them inside a transparent pouch and you'll glide right through, because every person slowed down by a giant lotion bottle is time you're wasting behind them. If you've watched this far and you still haven't subscribed, tell us in the comments what's stopping you. Seriously, we help thousands of travelers every single week avoid messes like this. If you're here to be smarter, be smarter. We're already doing the homework, so you don't have to. Every rule we've just covered has been enforced this year. None of them are guesses. None of them are optional. So let's run it back. Carry-on must fit overhead sizing frames. Power banks must be removable. Lithium batteries handled wrong equals confiscated. Personal items limited to 2, not 3 or 4. Oversized toiletries still banned. Electronics must come out during screening. Messy packing, you're flagged. Fare drop in August, only for a narrow window. Smart luggage, only if the battery can detach. Overpacking, AI sees everything. Those last 3, they're costing people flights and hundreds in lost gear every single week. You book the ticket, you check the weather, but if you don't stay ahead of rules like these, you're one boarding pass away from chaos. Subscribe now. And while you're here, what's the weirdest thing you've ever seen someone get stopped for at security? Drop it in the comments. We might feature your story next. Next week, we're exposing the TSA's new biometric scanners. They don't just scan your face, they predict your intent. And yes, that determines whether you board or get stopped. You now know what most travelers don't. That makes you smarter, faster, and more prepared than 95% of the terminal. Pack smart, travel sharper, and remember, TSA isn't just checking bags anymore. They're checking how much you know.